You are the poster child for needing your wisdom teeth out. And I was like, okay. And he's like, you're going to come in here. The day you get your teeth out, it's going to be the best day of your life. You're going to come in here. You're going to sit down. You're just going to talk to the ladies. And then you're going to take a nap and wake up in your house. I was like, oh, cool. And so I go in there. She's like, all right, like, let me put this IV in there. The pinching feeling will be gone in a couple minutes. Here's this little sticky chest thing. Here's this little thing. Puts this oxygen in my nose. Takes the oxygen out. Takes the sticky thing off. Takes the thing off. And I'm like, whoa, it was done. It literally just, I didn't see the doctor at all. They didn't have me count down. They didn't have me do anything. They were just like, all right.
He gave you that fire roofing.
She's going to do it. Oh, and she's like, all right, how was it? I'm like, ooh. And she's like, where'd you get those pants from? So I told her I got my pants. She's like, I really like those. I was like, thank you.
That's kind of how it was with my ACL, although they did count me down right after they asked me which knee it was, and then they marked it with a permanent marker, which I thought was weird. Like, if I'm going in, like, you should know which one it is.
Totally.
I could be nervous and say left and then come out with the complete wrong thing.
So, yeah, it was actually good. So we just we sewed it back up.
All right.
Wait. Oh, your left. I thought you meant our left.
Yeah.
I thought you meant camera left.
We got to come back next week.
Well, welcome to Bro Football Focus, episode 3 of season 2, the off season. Well, I guess season 1.5. I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But with me, as always, is Austin.
What's going on?
And Wisdom Teethless Jake. So be with him. He might be a little loopy or whatever.
Yeah.
Yep. I'll take my pain meds. I'm ready to roll.
That is
my holistic and my pharmaceutical. So
yeah. Before we start today, I want to say that Bro Football Focus is brought to you by Dogecoin. Do only good every day.
Your mic's all whack, dude.
So you didn't hear my cool advertisement?
All I heard was Doge. And then
well, all I heard was you making those noises. So maybe that's what that was.
Hey, I'm trying to show off my fucking talent, dude. I'm trying to get seen. Like, who's that guy doing the boodle bops over there? Give me his number.
Yeah, maybe the next episode will be brought to you by Boodle Bops. But this is episode 3 of the off season, and this is going to be our mock draft spectacular because it is currently Saturday, and on Thursday is the first day of the NFL draft, which I'm sure we're all super excited for. I know it's like my favorite NFL moment because I like a bad team. Especially this year, it's going to be cool. But before we get into our mocks and then our big mock, we can go through a little bit of the Twitterverse real quick. But either way, Jake, who do you think won the Orlando Brown Jr. trade?
I don't know. You know, it kind of goes either way with these things. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose, sometimes a double-edged sword. So, yeah, that's my 2 cents on it.
Oh, all right. Awesome.
That's my way of saying I don't know. I don't know the following. I'm trying to figure out this audio.
Well, I shared this graphic with you so you'd be a little more informed. Well, it's actually
and it confused me more. Like I looked at this and I literally said in the Twitter, I have no clue what this is.
It's actually one of the most incredibly even trades I've ever seen in my life. At how the picks break down.
So I think for the value, the trade was very even, but I think the Ravens, like, they drafted Orlando Brown in 2018 and got 3 good years out of him, then shipped him off before his rookie contract expired. And I think he was supposed to make, like, as a right tackle, he was supposed to make like almost $70 million. So they got rid of that.
Yeah. And you got rid of a bad guy in the locker room.
Yeah, I guess so. If you think he's causing beef because he wants to be a left tackle.
Well, I don't know, dude. Ronnie Stanley seems like a pretty like nice guy. And if you're just gonna be like, yeah, I'm not gonna play because this guy's better than me.
Yeah, who needs him?
Yeah.
But I would also like to say the Chiefs' offensive line has improved quite a bit since they cut both their tackles. Because now they got Orlando at left tackle, Joe Thuney at left guard. They got Austin Blythe out of free agency. He was on the Rams for 3 years. Then they got Kyle Long, aka Kyle Tiny Dong Long, at right guard, and then they got at right tackle Lucas Niang, who was their 3rd-round pick last year and was a COVID opt-out. So I think
Kyle Long is coming out of retirement, though, so we don't know how he's going to do.
Yeah.
And also, you're forgetting about the return of Laurent Davy Tardif.
Yeah, he's coming back. So the offensive line, it's looking not bad. I wouldn't say it's great, but Orlando and Joe Thuney is really good. So
I mean, it's better than it was, and it's sure as hell better than it was in the Super Bowl.
yeah, I mean, I might take Schwartz and Fisher over Orlando Brown and Lucas Niang.
I don't know about Fisher.
Fisher was good.
Fisher doesn't even have a job right now.
He'll get a job.
Maybe. He was a 1st overall pick.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think for a team like the Chiefs, who really doesn't need anything besides an upgrade on the offensive line, like with the 31st overall pick, they're not going to be like taking anybody, anybody who's going to immediately impact the team like Orlando Brown. And now the Ravens have 2 picks in the 1st round, so good for them.
Yep.
We got a little thing here, little question prompt. Is Devonta Smith too small for the NFL? I don't even think we really need to talk about this much because I think the answer is no. Like, if you see a guy like Deshaun Jackson or Will Fuller, like...
Yeah. Well, I think a better question would be, how far down do you think he slips in the 1st round? Do you think he gets past top 20?
I would like that because I think if he was there at 25, I think the Jaguars would take him, and that would be super cool.
I don't know if he gets that low.
I don't think he does either.
I don't see what the big deal is because, yeah, he's small, only 166 pounds, but Hollywood Brown was 166 pounds coming out, and he gained like 20 pounds in one off season. And I think Deshaun Jackson was the same weight too. He was like 160 something pounds. So,
well, I think the issue with size and whatnot is like going up and getting 50-50 balls in the NFL and whatnot. But I don't really think that's Devonta's thing. Like, the dude can separate pretty well and run all the routes better than everybody. So like if you're like 7 yards ahead of somebody, it doesn't really matter how big you are.
I think one of the biggest questions is like corners jamming them at the line of scrimmage. But you see with like Cole Beasley, if you put a big corner on Cole, he's so quick. Like he also has his advantages for being that small.
Yeah.
Like, I was a pretty fat kid growing up. And when we played tag and someone tagged me, I would never be able to catch anyone. So the tiny size offsets the hossiness at some point.
Yeah, Jake, don't you know that Austin's old nickname before he came to Harbor Creek was Andy Milanakis?
I did know that.
I had cheese.
But I think part of the hair had to do with it too.
I think it was the hair also played a big factor.
But
I will say, to you guys' point with the size, once they get him on the NFL diet and the NFL workout, because you got to understand, he's a receiver coming from Alabama. So Bama Haas's eat first. You get whatever's left. So that's why he's like a little undersized, because all the feed is going to a different position.
I don't know, man. The past 2 Bama wide receivers in the NFL haven't really lived up to hype. Jerry Jeudy more than Henry Ruggs, but Henry Ruggs definitely not.
I think
Jerry Jeudy will be good with a good quarterback.
Yeah,
we'll see. But that's why I said
he will be.
To right now.
Didn't we have a stat that said like Jerry Jeudy had the most like
uncatchable balls? Yeah. But still, like I said, right now.
Well, but in the future, I'm going to play this clip and everyone's going to laugh at you.
Yeah. Devonta's going to be
that's fine, as long as it's good content. But yeah, I agree. I don't think I think that's my water pump that you're hearing, Jake. But I don't think that Devonta Smith would make it past the Dolphins' 2nd pick.
The Dolphins' 2nd pick. And
although I do think the Dolphins will probably be taking a wide receiver with their 1st pick. So I don't know.
Where did the Dolphins pick 2nd in the 1st? It's late, right? It's like 20 something.
I don't know, but we'll figure that out later. I guess we're asking how the top QBs will be ranked next year in
Yeah,
terms of
so
success.
I saw a thing come out where it was like Chris Sims, how he predicted the top 5 from like the Sam Darnold, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield class. And like he was more accurate than the draft guys were. Like he basically said Josh Rosen was going to be the worst, and a lot of people had him really high. So I thought we should do that just in case, in the future we're right.
Okay.
Go back. So I guess, and this is just for like next year, who's going to have the best rookie season. So for number 1, I think I'd go Trevor, because Trevor's just a prodigy child and he's been playing since he was 18 years old. He's probably ready to go. And I think over here we got the most career passing attempts from these QBs, and Trevor is number 2 with 1,147. So I think he's going to have a really good rookie season.
Trevor's the most pro-ready prospect of all time.
Yeah. And I think the Jaguars have good weapons around him to just throw him in right away.
Might add more with Devonta Smith and Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
And that's only because Hunter tore his ACL. Couldn't walk on,
Yeah.
Well, no, that was way late. It's because Jaworski broke my wrist.
Oh, true.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
Hunter has
brother.
bones of glass.
Number
you gonna
2, I would think Mac Jones would have the second best rookie season, just because that boy played in the SEC. And I think whoever takes him, I feel like is going to be a smarter coach with a good, like, solid game plan on how to win games. So I feel like if he slips, I feel like he's going to go to the Patriots. But if he gets taken, he's going to go to San Francisco. So he's probably going to have a really good rookie season. Then I think number 3, I'd go with Justin Fields. I'm not really sure where he'll end up, but if he goes to San Francisco, I can see that being pretty spicy. And I just think he's got a really good deep ball. He's fast. And I've heard that he's extremely smart. So Justin Fields right there. And
Heard
then
that he has a pretty poor work ethic, though.
I think that's smoke in the mirror. And then I think at number 4, I think Zach Wilson will be in there. And I think Zach Wilson is going to have a horrible rookie season, because I saw something that said, so Zach Wilson played 5 games against opponents with more than 10 wins in his college career, and he was 0-5 in those games, and he threw 1 touchdown to 7 interceptions. And then you got him going to the AFC East, and he's going to be playing Sean McDermott's defense twice a year, Bill Belichick's defense twice a year, and Belichick always makes rookies look stupid. Like, I think he ruined Sam Darnold, because I remember Sam Darnold had a 5-pick game. Josh Allen had 5-pick game against the Patriots his rookie year, and Bill Belichick just makes you look silly. And then Brian Flores is a really good defensive coach too with the Dolphins. And he has a defensive head coach in Robert Saleh. So I think Zach Wilson's going to have a hard time his rookie season. And then last but not least, I'm going to put Trey Lance at 5. And I think he'll be good in the future, but I think he's going to take a while to develop. He might not even start, depending on where he goes.
They say that Trey Lance is going to be the best out of all of them.
Yeah, maybe in the future.
So for mine, I'm going to shock the world and say Justin Fields first. Because I don't believe the Mac Jones to 49ers smoke at all. And I think Justin Fields will go to San Fran. And I think him and Kyle Shanahan are just going to be really dipsy doing people.
Yeah.
Second, Trevor. I think he's going to struggle in Jacksonville, because even though Urban Meyer's there and whatnot, I think it's still kind of a poop shoot, but hopefully not. 2, we are going to go with Mac Jones, because I have a weird feeling he's going to be on the Patriots. And I feel like if Bill Belichick has one of those guys, he'll, with a good cerebral guy, he'll just be doop, 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 doop. Then Zach Wilson, for the same reasons that Austin said. He might not be that good, and he's going to the worst team in the NFL. Like, they couldn't even tank right.
Yeah.
And then 5, also for the same reasons. Like I said, I think Trey Lance could end up being like the Josh Allen of the group, like the best, the one with the most physical intangibles, and with some work he could be good. But I don't think wherever he goes, like I don't think he's playing next year.
Yeah. And on that same thing, he has the least pass attempts of all the quarterbacks with 319.
Yeah.
So Trevor has more than three
He's
times.
fresh though.
True.
He's
That arm.
been
That's what they said about Toby Gerhart.
He's got a lot of tread on the tires.
I hate that.
Well, the reason I was attempting to smile was because Hunter pretty much ran down the list that I exactly would do, but I just did not double cover tracks. The reason why I wouldn't put Trevor first is because I think there's too much hype on him. And because I was feeling really good about Joe Burrow injury. I don't want to put any bad juju in the air, and I know that the Jags do have a fairly good line. So
it's okay. And I
appreciate they're building it. They're building it.
Yeah, I appreciate you not wanting to put the juju into the air. But what I will say is I think thinking that there's too much hype around Trevor might be a silly argument, because there has been hype around Trevor since like he was in Little Gritters.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. Like, that's so much. So it's like, you either need to be the best,
but
period,
the thing is,
or
like each year, each new step, people were like, yo, this kid's the best. And then he was the best.
Yeah. That kid's been a prodigy superstar since he was a little boy.
It's a different speed.
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
But yeah, so that's my really only add-on. I saw like 1 or 2 videos of Justin Fields in his little pro day. Looked good. I don't think Mac Jones has the sauce or physique, I should say, to be top 1. But still would be cool to see him come to the Patriots to be a nice little backup. We're gonna talk about that a little bit later. And yeah.
I also agree that Justin Fields is probably going to go to the Niners. I think that Mac Jones stuff is a lot of smoke. Because did you see the pro day where him and Kyle Shanahan it was basically a pro day for Kyle Shanahan like a week ago maybe, where Justin Fields did just a workout just for him, and there's like pictures of them like laughing, like hanging out with each other at the pro day. So I think maybe he rubbed off on him a little bit there.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it's really funny, all like the talking heads on NFL Network and stuff. The newest thing that they're saying is like, just because Mac Jones doesn't look good without a shirt on doesn't mean he's not going to be a good quarterback.
Yeah. And he ran like a 4.7 40 or something. So he has bitch tits, but he's not slow.
Yeah.
No, but I just think like, I don't know.
Oddly athletic.
Yeah.
Justin Fields seems like he's a special talent.
Yeah. I could see him having like how Jalen Hurts came in for the Eagles and had a really good season. Like he was really mobile. Like I could see him doing that, like coming in, kind of shocking everyone. Like no one thought Jalen Hurts was arguably like the best quarterback from the draft last year. Well, no, because you're going to have Justin Herbert, but like he was better than Tua, arguably.
Wasn't better than Joe Burrow when he played.
It's true.
But
how do you think? Have you seen the pictures of his ACL looking like a fucking shark bite?
Yeah.
It's a little scary.
Yeah.
I hope he's doing good.
Well, the picture the Bengals posted, it's like the whole squad, and it's like, who do you think we're drafting at number 5? And then everybody just zooms in on Joe Burrow's crazy star. It's like, I don't know, maybe an O-line.
I have a quick question.
Yeah, I probably would have had somebody Photoshop that out, honestly.
Oh yeah. With your ACL, was it like, did they take anything else and replace your ACL with it, or did they just repair your ACL?
No, so my ACL was completely like sliced, and my MCL was halfway sliced.
Yeah.
So I had the option of like taking a part of my hamstring or getting a dead person's ACL. So I have a dead person's ACL.
See, I was watching Joe Rogan the other day, and he said he had 2 knee surgeries, and they took a cadaver's, some kind of tendon. It wasn't even an ACL from the dead person. It was some other ligament.
Yeah, that's probably what it is.
He said it's like 300 times stronger than an ACL. So I think like maybe it's a good thing to tear your ACL nowadays and get that new thing put in there.
I don't know.
Well, and that's the thing, is the NFL definitely has physicality technology that we don't have. So he might even have like a robo ACL. that has like
Well,
AI in it and shit and can like predict which way he's gonna,
and I'll tell you something. Joe Burrow's scar is like that long, like from the top of his knee all the way down to the bottom. I have like a dot here, a dot here, and a dot here. Like I don't even have like a long scar. They just went in and like.
see,
So
and
you
that's
had
all I'm saying. Like,
arthroscopic surgery. I had that on both my shoulders.
I guess, yeah.
But then they, after my one failed, they had to slice it open like Joe Burrow's. So I think that is, they get a lot more done when they can go in and have that much room. But Joe Burrow, he tore more than his ACL. He tore like his ACL, MCL. Like he blew his whole knee up. Like it was pretty horrendous.
Poor fella.
Yeah.
see,
All
but
right.
all I took is one click and drag of the spot healing tool, and you don't see the scar. Like it's just a photo. You don't like people will see when they see.
But Jake, maybe he wants you to see the scar.
Oh, okay. Yeah. He wants to be like, yo, I'm fucking back. Look how big his gash
Yeah.
is. Don't hit me, please.
Alex Smith did it. He walked out there with that little toothpick leg and he said, "What's up, motherfuckers?"
Retired Alex Smith. Do you guys think
Yeah.
he should have stayed in for one more year until he won it?
Well, he got out. Well, the get
did you
was good.
see he was in Jacksonville's building? Like he took a visit with Urban Meyer, and
Really?
he knew he was going to be a backup to Trevor, so he was just like, "Nah, I'm just going to retire." But I would much rather, I think, like trading Gardner for like a fifth or a fourth or something, and then having Alex Smith teaching Trevor. That would be so sick.
Yeah. That's a sick job. Like you're just down in Florida, no tax, get all that money. You're just teaching, like.
But
yeah, and then like if you do have to go into a game, then just be careful.
Yeah. Possible Pro Football Focus first alert. The Jaguars technically don't have a quarterbacks coach right now, so watch Alex Smith for that job possibly.
And that's why Hunter was in Jacksonville.
Maybe who, Austin?
Maybe Urban does it himself.
Yeah, takes over the whole ship.
I don't know. Urban like makes his quarterbacks run around and do crazy Tim Tebow stuff.
Yeah.
But so I don't know.
Well, speaking of, since we touched on Alex Smith's retirement, Julian Edelman retired. And the first talk is because that's what last week should have been on last week's episode. And I think once they were like, oh, might become a free agent, it was like, I really don't see him going to any other team because he outright said like he wants to retire as a Patriot. So, but I do think he would be going into some sort of media, something.
I could see it.
Because all the videos that he posts, he makes those.
I like how when he retired, the first thing, like no one congratulated him on retiring. Everyone was just like, oh, he's not a Hall of Famer. Like, look at Hines Ward's stats. Hines Ward's not in the Hall of Fame. Like they're posting everyone's stats saying he's trash. Like,
or like all the memes, like with all the cool Spider-Man and like the one dude in like pajamas and it's like,
yeah. Just let the man enjoy his retirement.
That's the thing. Like Julian Edelman has like 2 crazy kick returns, and then he's got a bunch of good catches. He's got the Super Bowl catch where he like levitates the ball.
Yeah.
But is he a Hall of Famer? Definitely not.
He might be like a postseason Hall of Famer, but I just think the fact that that's the immediate discussion, like no one, like it didn't even cross my mind to think, oh, Hall of Fame for sure. Like I was just like, oh, well, that was a good career, Julian. Like,
so
for sure.
The argument was look at Hines Ward stats. What's funny about that? You should look at Jimmy Smith from the Jag stats. Way better than Hines Ward. He's not going to sniff the Hall of Fame for a long time. Hines Ward will get in way before Jimmy Smith does, just because he's like a cool
same thing
skiller.
with Sterling Sharp, Shannon Sharp's brother. He has really good stats, like better than Ocho Cinco, but he only played like 5 or 6 seasons because he had like a catastrophic injury.
Yeah.
So it's like there's so many guys that are crazy talent that won't make it to the Hall of Fame because they only pick 5 guys a year.
Yeah.
Like there's a waiting list.
Like Tony Baselli, I think, is an all generation, like late 90s, early 2000s left tackle, but he's been on the waiting list for like 10 years or something.
And let's say Hines Ward has to wait 7 more years and Julio retires next year. Julio will go in over him.
Yeah.
Like Antonio Brown might go in over him if he retired. Like,
Antonio Brown's going to be like a whole like TO thing.
It's going to be a TO thing, yeah.
Yeah. Well, he kind of repaired his image a little bit last year. Like nobody cares anymore.
Yeah. Tom Brady took him under his wing and gave him like the Aaron Hernandez, like suppress the craziness for a little bit.
Yeah.
Tom Brady's good at that, dude.
See, I think all he does is he's like, hey, I can tell your dad didn't kiss you enough on the mouth. And then so he's
Yeah.
just to sleep with me, and every morning he's like,
No,
Good
Tom
morning.
Brady just gives him a
Yeah.
nice fat
he's like,
smith.
this is what I needed. This is what I
I think he
needed.
says, hey, do you want to stop being crazy and win a Super Bowl? Because we could do that real quick.
We get you a ring, dude.
But speaking of rings, are the Browns a championship caliber team now that they have Myles Garrett, Jadeveon Clowney, and a 1-year deal signed Baker Mayfield?
Yeah, so they made it to the AFC, divisional round versus the Chiefs, and they had those dudes on the ropes.
Well, the only reason they didn't probably win was because Baker got injured, right?
No, Patrick Mahomes. Well, I don't know if Baker got injured, but Patrick
I feel
Mahomes
like-
got hurt, and then
I
Chad
feel like there was
Henne
like one blown play, like a drop ball or something.
Oh, no, you're right. Chad Henne wasn't.
Chad Henne sauced them up on a 4th and 1.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like their team's really complete. Like they got the best offensive line. Their defensive line's really good. Their defense as a whole is very solid. And their wide receivers are sick. Their running backs are the top of the league. So it's like the only thing holding them back, I feel like, is Baker Mayfield. Like I feel
think
like
the only thing. Oh,
if he goes for like a big run in the playoffs and has like if he plays really good in the championship games or like the divisional games, then I feel like they could win the Super Bowl. But I just don't trust Baker Mayfield. Like I'd take Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes over him in a playoff scenario. For some reason, I just feel like.
Oh, absolutely, those two. But I feel like Baker took a step forward this year, and that's why they only picked up the 5th-year option and didn't like give him a new deal, because they're like, hey, you took a step forward. If you can do that again, we'll re-sign you.
Yeah.
But I am interested to see how it works with Odell back on the team, because they weren't good when Odell was on the team.
That is interesting.
So we'll see how that happens, but it'll always be my opinion that the Browns are the Browns until they're not. So
yeah,
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I think
we'll
last year was good enough to say that last year they weren't just the Browns. You know, they went pretty fucking far. Like they were a serious
but
team.
that's just because like the Steelers have collapsed, and
I mean, regardless of the circumstances, they won a lot.
Yeah, but
I think they've turned the ship around. They got a good coach. They finally got a really good roster, and it feels like they
Some chemistry back that wasn't there.
They out-hossed the Ravens and the Steelers. Like I know the Ravens. I think the Ravens might have beat them once in the regular season, but I do remember they hossed the Ravens around pretty good one time.
Yeah.
So I think they've definitely built an identity.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. Hopefully all those Hulu commercials pay off. But
Hulu allows force.
Yeah. How will Urban
Baker
Meyer do in the
Mayfield's
NFL? Over under 10 wins in the first season. I cautiously would say under.
Even though there's going to be 17 games?
Yeah, I would say under.
Really?
I think that roster still has a lot of holes, especially on the defense. And everything I've been hearing is this is going to be a very offensive draft, which scares me.
Wow. I mean, who did they sign in free agency for defense?
The only like big name dude they signed that's going to come in and start is Shaquille Griffin. So now we have Shaquille and CJ on the outsides, but like I still don't think we have a starting safety. We signed a safety from the Chargers. His name's Rayshon Jenkins, but I didn't know who he was.
How'd they do against the Colts in the second game last year?
Bad.
Because they almost beat them, or they did beat them the first game, right?
Yeah, that was an accident though.
But now they got Trevor.
I know, but listen, the defense, it's bad. Like we don't have a starting safety. I think on the line, like we have the linebackers, Miles Jack, and I don't think Kayvon Chaison's very good, but we'll see how he does like rushing from the outside. Josh Allen's going to be doing that too, so that'll be cool. They signed like 5 defensive tackles, so they're just going to have like a bunch of big bodies like rotating, but I don't think they have a good edge guy, and I don't know, just secondary super sus.
I think they can get 10 wins. So I would chalk them down for 10. They might go 10-7. 10-7 is the old 9-7. And I think that with the Texans, that should be 2 free wins. So 2 free wins, 17-game season. I could see them pulling off 10.
Yeah.
Of course, I think Urban will have a big learning curve himself, because I've heard that he didn't even watch the NFL. Like, he's always been a college guy, never really cared for the NFL style of football. So he's going to be learning. But doesn't he have a pretty good experienced staff?
Yeah. Very, very, very experienced.
So that's good. I'll put him up for 10 wins, I'd say.
Well, it's
I'd probably
over or
say
under
6.
10.
I'm breaking even.
And Jake, you said under?
Yeah, I said 6.
Yeah.
6 wins.
Yeah. Because I agree with the Texans thing. That's probably 2, because Deshaun Watson will probably never play football again.
Yeah.
And looking at their 2021 opponents,
but
I don't know, it's like 5
I
teams
think
that could
that's
possibly.
2 L's, and we don't know. Carson
Yeah.
Wentz might be MVP.
Texans, I think,
behind
is a win.
a good O-line.
Yeah.
I can see Texans win, Jets win, Bengals win. That's 5 wins. And maybe they pick up one as a fluke.
And the Bengals might not even be a win. Like Joe Burrow versus Trevor Lawrence. We've seen how that goes before.
Yeah.
And Joe Burrow might have Panini Sewell or maybe Jamar Chase.
Yeah. Well,
Or he might be on the sidelines eating paninis.
that's something we'll have to talk about before we start the mock draft, because I don't even think Sewell is going to be the first tackle off the board.
Really? That's
yeah.
cool.
I've been hearing a lot about Rayshawn Slater at 5.
Wow. That's great.
Yeah. Well,
I need to go look at my math real quick.
Okay. Because
Jake-
Sewell, although as a freshman he was 3rd in Heisman voting, Slater has played 3 years and his numbers are really, really, really crazy good.
Yeah. I heard this is a really good draft for offensive tackles in general.
I don't know, dude. I heard Jay Glazer on Fox Sports Radio last night. He said that this is actually a really poopy draft, and people are just yeah,
hyping it up.
Yeah. I don't know. He's after the first 3 in every position, it's the drop off is crazy.
Wow. I mean, what the fuck does Jay Glazer know, though?
I don't know. Jay Glazer's pretty inside.
I want to hear what Mel Kiper has to say.
Mel Kiper's probably salivating.
Yeah. Mel Kiper loves a good draft.
All right. I'm going to refill.
All righty. I'll just take a peeps.
Welcome back from the peeps / coffee / checking
Mouth.
Jake's mouth break.
Yeah.
I felt some suction on a part. I was like, I didn't feel too good.
Now we're gonna hop into the Twitterverse. So, pretty cool. Trevor Lawrence has not only signed a multi-million-dollar deal with Adidas, but he just signed a deal with Gatorade, and he is the first quarterback since Cam Newton to sign a deal with Gatorade. So I think that was 9 years ago. And when the Jags, it was certain that they got the first pick. Everybody in the national media, especially this Chad Forbes guy, they're all yeah, Trevor's not going to be getting all these national ads that Zach Wilson's going to be getting in New York. He's going to be Zach Wilson's going to be getting Nike ads, and Trevor Lawrence is going to be doing deals with the local Jacksonville car dealership. Well, I don't see Zach Wilson with any deals right now, and Trevor Lawrence is signed with 2 of the biggest companies on earth. So that dude sucks.
Not Disney.
No, but I'm sure it'll happen when he wins the Super Bowl and he says he's going
Next
there.
Disney princess, Trevor Lawrence. He was just a football player.
One thing, it's going to be it's going to happen. Probably year 2.5 or 3, there's going to be a time when Trevor Lawrence cuts his hair and it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to like it.
No, if he ever gets a cut, he's going to cut to the same length.
Yeah. But I've always said, Hunter and I were talking about this a little bit, but I've always thought that this whole the small market, big market, advertising deal thing, I've always thought that's so stupid, because everything's done over the internet. your physical location doesn't matter for these deals. Like you can sign with Adidas, they're just going to sign the coolest, most impactful athletes and try to
They'll
make you
fly
buy their
out.
jeans. They
Yeah.
don't care. They're not going to go, oh, who's on the Jets? Let's take a look at the Jets roster and we'll sign whoever's done there. That's so dumb. And then the Jets, like, they don't even play in New York City. They play 45 minutes away in New Jersey. Same thing with the Giants. So it's like, what is the big deal about like being in New Jersey and getting a big deal? Like your exposure to the market doesn't matter. Everything's done on Zoom calls with
Yeah.
like Good Morning
It
Football and
would
stuff.
it would
Everything.
make sense if he was somebody to the level where he would have to audition, but like
Yeah.
like athletes, they just get approached.
Yeah, like Joe Burrow went to Cincinnati, Ohio, and he was talked about all year before he got injured and after he got injured.
Baker Mayfield has the most commercials I've ever seen in my life, and he's in Cleveland.
Cleveland, the
Yeah, when I
mecca
said that,
of
he was
commercials.
First overall pick, but so is Joe Burrow.
Yeah.
Either way,
So will
yeah,
Trevor Lawrence be?
yeah. And Chad Forbes, you're a silly goose. Jake, I hope you can find a way to put this video up here, but there's a funny video of
I'm gonna try.
Dan Campbell, and he's just like in his draft war room or something, but he's wearing just your classic like Walmart shirt and tie, and the caption is we can confirm that Dan Campbell is 100% a football guy after we see how he uses a computer, and he's just one finger caveman style typing. It's very funny.
And he's just a huge dude, so it's a tiny little keyboard, just like
Yeah. So, definitely a football guy. His office I like the little Lions poster in the back with the actual lion growling on it. It
Well,
just
see,
embodies the Dan Campbell philosophy.
That's a TV, so I want to see all the other lion pictures on that slideshow.
Oh yeah.
That's not the only. There's probably some like planet Earth lions going at it.
Chasing down gazelles.
He's like, come on in, your fellas. You see these lions up here? They're vicious.
This is how we're going to tackle the ball carrier.
It's like, yeah, that's a Getty Images thing of a lion.
Speaking of planet Earth, for all you nature documentary fans out there, there's a new David Attenborough documentary on Netflix.
About David Attenborough?
No. Oh. It's about animals, but it's pretty good.
Love David Attenborough.
Yeah. But we've got some Micah Parsons information. Micah Parsons must have like a great PR staff, because I didn't know he had off the field concerns until I saw this, but these are pretty crazy.
Yeah.
So I think this is all from the same source, but this person alleges in a complaint that I don't know who Barber is, but back in the day at Penn State, somebody named Barber Parsons and Uter Gross Matos did the following to him and certain other players: took their clothes off and did not return them. Classic 80s locker room bully stuff.
Yeah.
Told them they intended to make them their bitch because this is a prison. Again, that's probably just classic football hazing. That's fine.
Yeah.
Now we're maybe getting a little much for 2021.
Yeah.
Micah Parsons has wrestled somebody down, simulating a humping action while on top of them.
See, this is my only issue with that. He either wrestled them down and humped them, or he didn't hump them. How do you simulate a hump? Like, you're either doing it or you're not.
I don't know, but Jake,
and that's just stuff that best friends do.
We're escalating still.
Yeah.
Allegedly, again, all alleged from one source. Apparently, Micah Parsons has placed his penis in this person's face while simulating ejaculation. So
I can understand how you simulate ejaculate. You just pretend. Yeah, that makes sense. Simulation, okay.
And then this last one's where it gets out of hand.
Last one's, I mean, who hasn't done this when they're hazing somebody? Where Micah Parsons allegedly has placed his penis on and in their buttocks.
This can't be real. Like, is
that's
this
put
real?
So lightly.
I think it could be real.
Well, Hunter sent this tweet and I'm reading through, and they have this on the last slide. So the first one's, I'm like, oh, he's just hazing. Then I get to this. Place their penis on and in their buttocks.
Well, so
and it's like that's like, they literally just should have said, "Oh yeah," and he butt fucked them.
No. It's not. You guys are taking it too far. It's not like Micah Parsons was like aroused. He probably just has an initially, big wiener.
Yeah.
And he probably, like, Uter Gross-Matos probably held this guy down. And Michael Parsons was like, yeah, I'm gonna put my wiener between your butt cheeks. It's not like a gay thing. It's like a dominant
just friends
thing.
being friends.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know. Hopefully that's not true about Micah. But if it is,
Maybe he slips to the Jags late first round. Get you
they
some.
don't need a middle linebacker, but he did say he can play any spot on the defense. So
Yeah. I mean, he's fast. Ran a 4.3 or something like that.
Yeah. So hopefully that's not true. But George Kittle did a fun, like, barbecue commercial. I think it was for April Fool's Day. We don't really need to talk about that much. Whoopsie of the
How
week.
is it for April Fool's Day? It was posted April 22nd.
Yeah, there's no April Fools on there.
Yeah, I think he just did it.
He was just WWEing with some charcoal grills.
George Kittle said it was a joke. See, George Kittle posted that, but I think
just because it's a joke doesn't mean it's April Fool's.
The Kingsford hardwood pellets maybe popped it on the first.
I'm about to do some investigation on that.
Yeah, but either way, whoopsie of the week. We got 3 solid ones this week. First one's a little dicey for Mac Jones, because Sarah Jane Jones, who I can only assume is like Mac Jones's sister.
Yeah.
Is that verified?
Yeah, I looked it up.
There's no proof of this is
okay. And yeah, true. But I hope Jake can get this on the screen for everybody. But what I'm witnessing is somebody who is tagged as Mac Jones, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't want to speculate, but the body type, the height, the skinniness of the legs looks like it could be Mac Jones.
Yeah.
I need to see. There's so much padding here. Can't tell.
Yeah, he's wearing a Stars and Stripes morph suit with a sash that says "No Obama." He has a Barack Obama Halloween mask, and it looks like a dreadlock wig on.
And he's giving 2 middle fingers to the ground.
Yeah. So would it be the most surprising thing in the world if Mac Jones wasn't an Obama fan and he was like a right-wing Trump guy? No, not at all. But
I mean, if anything, it furthers his association to be drafted by the Patriots. So, but yeah, I mean, wearing a mask of a black person is basically just doing blackface, in my opinion.
Yeah, that's a really easy one to be like, probably shouldn't do that.
I don't think
I feel like I could wear an Obama mask and it would be cool, but I think when you pair it
with the no Obama sash and the dreads,
the dreads especially.
Yeah, Obama didn't have dreads.
Yeah, it's pretty distinct.
And if Obama did have dreads, then that would be accurate. But
fun fact: the password to get into the video editing, or I'm sorry, the tech computers at Cooperstown Dreams Park was Nobama 18.
Wow.
Yeah. But one of their biggest policies is no yo in the park, which means you can't do what I'm currently doing with wearing your hat backwards. So there's you want to talk about systematic racism? There's some of that going on at Cooperstown.
I'm going to speed that up 3 to 4%.
Why?
Because now we're slandering the town where baseball lives.
We're not slandering it. We're just saying facts.
Want to talk about systematic racism? We're not slandering them.
It's facts.
Yeah,
but,
these are just firsthand accounts from Hunter as an employee there.
Yeah. I mean, Jake, would you deny anything I just said?
No, it's not incorrect.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we have a fun little wanted poster for what looks like a very young man. Looks like he's like 21, 22, but it's actually like 28 to 30-year-old Alden Smith.
Aldon Jacarius Smith.
Yeah, that's a fun middle name. So looks like Aldon was suspected and wanted for a second-degree battery. Who knows if he did that? Not me. I'm not going to speculate. But Alden's not the whoopsie. Mac Jones isn't the whoopsie. I'm the whoopsie of the week. Because if you guys watched last week, I was on my way down to Jacksonville, having a fun time. The first day we got there, we went out to the Jaguar Stadium, TIAA Bank Field. And I was getting a picture in front of the Jaguar, as any good Jaguar fan would do. And right when we were about to leave, I noticed some people coming out of the stadium. And I'm like, those people are wearing athletic wear. I don't think those are just like indoor office pencil pusher guys. Walking. And I look a little closer. I squint with my bad eyes. And I say, you know what? I think that's Miles Jack. Nobody else in the world has hair like Miles Jack.
Yeah.
And he's walking, comes out of the gate. And I'm like, oh my God, that is Miles Jack. And I am like 15 feet away from him. This is crazy. So in the split second, when I actually realized for sure it was Miles Jack, he was already walking away and he was almost to his truck, and a bunch of things went through my head. And I'm like, I'm a 25-year-old man. This guy is also a 25-year-old man. He is walking out of his office right now and probably going home to relax. So I don't think I should be like, Miles, man. So I didn't say anything to him.
You should have pulled out your cell phone.
See,
got a BFF exclusive interview.
Yeah, see, I'm very disappointed. Looking back, I should have gone up to Miles, hey.
See, and that's the thing. Like, just seeing like, what's up, Miles? Hey, man. It's much different than going, Miles, blah, blah. Like, why is it?
But,
or at
I
least
can't
just
say
go,
anything.
Miles.
But Jay.
Yeah. I was like, what's up, man?
The current state I was in, like I was almost shaking because like he walks out, and when I realized, I'm like, oh my God, that is Miles Jack. I'm like,
he probably saw you and you're just
what
like,
do I do?
He's like, what the fuck?
So yeah, I was I was a little starstruck, but I do regret not saying anything to him. But I'm also glad I didn't bother him on his way home.
He probably wouldn't have been bothered.
No, probably not. He seems like an extremely nice guy who does a lot of nice stuff.
He was having a bad day, and you'd have been like, hey, I love you. He'd be like, you know what? You just made my day better. And what's your name? Give me your number. We can go get something to eat. And then you're hanging out.
Yeah, what could have been? I don't know. But that's why I am the whoopsie of the week.
Yeah, it's unfortunate.
Yeah. All right. So now, as promised at the beginning of the show, this is the BFF mock draft spectacular. So what we're going to do, we're each going to go through a mock draft that we did for our own teams, and then we're going to do a real quick mock of the entire first round. So which one of you guys wants to go first?
Why don't you go first, Hunter, since you're the first list?
Okay. Well, and I'll have everybody know that all of these mocks were done on the Pro Football Focus mock draft simulator powered by Amazon Web Services. But my first pick for the Jacksonville Jaguars was, as I'm sure everybody can guess, Trevor Lawrence. Number 2 at 25, I took Trevon Moehrig, the safety out of TCU. I don't think he'll be there at 25, but if he is, I think that would be a steal. 33, I have Pat Freiermuth, the Penn State tight end, because we're not going to get Kyle Pitts, but we do need a tight end. 45, I'm getting a little wacky, getting a little crazy. Took Travis Etienne out of Clemson. I know we have James Robinson. He's great. Travis Etienne is like the opposite of him, though. He's fast. He can catch. He can do crazy stuff. He's already got that connection with Trevor. So trying to power up this offense. 65, Austin Lane of Action Sports Jacks and former Jacksonville Jaguar told me that this was a reach of a pick, but I don't think it is. Creed Humphrey, the center out of Oklahoma, because got a lot of spots on the line that could use an upgrade. And this dude, if somebody gets injured, he could probably hop into any of those spots on the interior. 106 took Jamin Davis, the linebacker out of Kentucky. I think that's a good depth pick, especially at 106. 130, Tommy Tremble, the tight end out of Notre Dame, get a backup who can block. We've gone over him in the past. 145, another Trevor pick. Cornell Powell, get some wide receiver depth, get a guy that Trevor's already familiar with and can succeed with. 170, Shakir Brown, a cornerback out of Michigan State, get some corner depth. And then finally, 249, Mustafa Johnson, defensive lineman out of Colorado. I just liked his name, and I know he's a big hoss.
Yeah.
And overall, I got an A- from Pro Football Focus for that.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good draft right there, Hunter.
Yeah, thanks.
And so I'll hop into mine. So with the first round pick, I took Jalen Phillips. I'm not sure if he'll slip that far, but he has in pretty much all my mock drafts. And he's 6'5", 260, ran a 4.5 40, and he was a 5-star recruit out of high school, had 21 sacks his senior season. And then interestingly, he went to UCLA as a freshman. He had an ankle injury and concussion, and then his sophomore year, he got hit by a car while he was on a scooter.
Whoa.
Oh,
So
damn.
he then transferred from UCLA to Florida, had to sit out his junior season, and then his senior season he had 8 sacks, 15 and a half TFLs, and was a second team All-American. So I don't think his injury history is like too worrisome. I think getting hit by a car on the scooter is bad, but he also got a concussion that year too. So that's 2 years with concussions. So I think that's a big deal in the age of CTE. But with my second pick, I took Quinn Miners from the Wisconsin Whitewater Warhawks of Division III football. And I just like that he posted a sick video of him lifting weights in the woods and like running around hossing logs and shit. Just seems like a real rustic hoss. And he's 6'3", 320, AP All-American. And he reminds me of Ali Marpet because he dominated the Senior Bowl. And Ali Marpet was also a D3 player and was the highest drafted D3 player ever in the second round.
From Hobart.
Yeah, from Hobart. Number 3 in the third round, I took Divine Diablo, safety from the Virginia Tech Hokies. And
Cool
he's
name.
6'3", 226, and he could be a strong safety or like a nickel like linebacker, like a big nickel hybrid like safety linebacker. And he was named Divine to offset his satanic last name. He also ran a 4.46, and he reminds me of Cam Chancellor just because of his size and that he went to Virginia Tech, solely on that alone. In the fourth round, I took Tommy Tremble. I mean, we have a whole clip video of why I like Tommy Tremble, but he's basically just a great blocker with good speed, and he's got similar athleticism to George Kittle. In the fifth round, I took Bobby Brown III, and he's a defensive tackle from TAMU, aka the Aggies. And he reminds me of good old-fashioned Red Bryant. And he's 6'4", 325. He's a strong run stopper, and he doesn't have a lot of pass rush moves, but he's got some bull rush. And I think he's athletic enough he could be developed in the NFL. He did well against Landon Dickerson, who is an H-Dog approved hoss. Then in the sixth round, I have the Bills taking Darren Hall, who's a cornerback out of the San Diego State Aztecs. And the Bills met with him twice already. He scored an 8.02 out of 10 on the RAS, the relative athletic score. And he had a 4.47 40 and a 38-inch vertical. So I think he'd be a solid corner in the sixth round. Then seventh round, I took Tommy Doyle, who's an offensive tackle from the Miami University Redhawks, not the University of Miami. But Bill's offensive line coach, OG Bobby Johnson, met with him at the pro day. So I could see them taking him in the seventh. And he's 6'8", 320, and scored a 9.9 out of 10 on the RAS test. And he played both sides of the offensive line. So he's just a big, strong hoss, very athletic. But that's my mock draft. And I'd be pretty happy with all those guys.
So for my draft, what the Patriots need, or would be in their interest, is quarterback to learn behind Cam Newton, some wide receivers, and cornerbacks, safeties. So if Mac Jones slips, we'll take him with the first pick. Next pick will be Elijah Moore out of Mississippi, and instantly covering the cornerback with the third pick in Kelvin Johnson from Kentucky. Then from here, Figured we'd still try to beef up the wide receiver core. Josh Palmer from Tennessee. Then a little bit off the skew, but I feel like having a young interior guy, Osawa Idegizuwa, something along those lines from UCLA.
I
Then
assume he originates from perhaps the motherland.
Yeah, possibly. Then strictly based off of name, and I feel like this guy could be a someone we talk about as a draft steal. Might be better than what his pick is putting him at, with Jalen Darden, wide receiver from North Texas. And then just filled in the gaps again with Benjamin St. Just or Justy from Minnesota. Cornell Powell, a wide receiver from Clemson. Then towards the end, picking up another interior guy out of what I would assume would be Kairos Tonga, because that name is just
Tonga sounds Samoan. Sounds like a big hoss.
Yeah, and that's what I like. Big Samoan hoss is where it's at. And then finished with another lineman, guard, South Carolina, Sedarius Hutcherson. And my overall draft grade was an A-.
Sedarius Hutcherson sounds like a real road grader.
Yeah. And that's the thing. The hosses that were picked up, names Sedarius Hutcherson, Kairos Tonga, and Osa Idigizua. How do you go wrong with that?
Yeah.
I think you can draft off name alone in most cases.
Absolutely. That's what happens when you get guys like Tornado Davis on the team. He pans out very well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Jake, good job not knowing a lot about the later rounds and still getting an A-. Congrats.
Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty much a genius.
All right. Well, are you guys ready for the big one?
All right, Jake, you're on the clock as the Jacksonville Jaguars. Who are you going to take?
Being the Jacksonville Jaguars, will take Trevor Lawrence.
Nice.
Alrighty. And Hunter, you're on the clock as the New York Jets.
All right, New York Jets, new GM, or maybe not new GM, but new coaching staff. Going to start it anew with Zach Wilson.
All right, Zach Wilson off the board. And now the San Francisco 49ers are on the clock. And I think they're going to take Justin Fields despite all the smoke that has been given about Mac Jones. So I got Justin Fields going there. And Jake, you're on with the Atlanta Falcons.
So with the 4th pick for the Atlanta Falcons, I will take Kyle Pitts.
Yes. Good job, Jake.
Kyle Pitts.
I just need to see the names.
Good job.
So now I'm up with the Bengals, huh?
No, I'm up with the Bengals.
Oh, you're up with the Bengals.
Yeah, this is why I wanted to do this, because I have a feeling you'd go Jamar Chase.
No, I'd go Panini Sewell.
Well,
just kidding. I'd go Jamar Chase.
As the Bengals, at pick 5, I will be taking Rashawn Slater.
Rashawn Slater blowing up the draft.
Yeah.
So now the Finns are on the clock. Oh, man.
And I'm going to blow up the draft at 8, too.
I don't think the Dolphins expected Panini Sewell to drop this far.
Austin, what I will say is they did all those trades with the plan in place that either Pitts or Chase would be there.
Yeah. Oh, man.
And they could always take a tackle at 18 or whatever they have.
Yeah, I think you go with the generational talent.
Jamar?
Oh, man. I think in this case they would take Sewell, though.
I don't. There's so many other tackle options that are going to be later, and Jamar is like a special wide receiver.
Yeah, but you don't win games with wide receivers.
Yeah, you do.
That's
and
right.
we don't
you
even
win them
know
in the trenches.
NA is good. But it's your pick. Do what you do.
Man.
I just know that they've said that that's what the plan was, Pitts or Chase. That's why they traded back up to 6.
18. I think in this case they would take Sewell.
Boom, 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 boom.
And the Lions are on the clock.
That's wild.
So with the 7th pick, the Detroit Lions will give Jared Goff a new toy with Jamar Chase.
Jamar Chase.
That would be the best option. All right. So at number 8, the Panthers are sitting there, and their phone is ringing right now because some teams see the Broncos sitting right there, and they see 2 quarterbacks left on the board. And I think Bill Belichick wants one of those quarterbacks. So you guys are going to have to force a trade because I believe the New England Patriots are going to trade 15, 96, their first next year, and a second next year to move up to 8. So, I mean, the numbers don't matter, but anyway, you can make that happen.
It was not accepted. Force it through.
Yeah, force it through.
Force it.
And with now the 8th overall pick, I believe the New England Patriots will be taking Alabama quarterback Mac Jones.
Mac Jones off the board. All right. Who's on the Broncos?
I'm on the Broncos. No, you are on the Broncos because I picked Jamar Chase for the Lions.
All right. So the Broncos get here. They need a quarterback.
That
they
is
need
true.
a tackle. They need a linebacker. Trey Lance is here. I don't think they expected New England to jump ahead of them.
No, but I think they're cool with the leftovers.
Oh, man. I mean, Trey Lance, I think he's no more developed than who they already have.
Drew Lock, but I think he's got way more potential.
But he does have way more potential. Yeah, I think they got to go with Trey Lance, but I think they got finessed a little bit here and they just got to make that pick.
Yeah.
And then it goes on to the Cowboys.
To me. So with the Cowboys, 10th pick. Let's see. Yeah. So their needs, one of the 4, so 25% of their needs is a cornerback. So I will be selecting Patrick Surtain the second.
Jake, that's a great pick.
The
And I
young
think that's what's
Cowboys.
going to happen in real life. I'm so proud of you.
That's a fantastic pick, Jake.
Thanks.
So I'm up with the Eagles.
The Giants.
I'm sorry, the Giants. Yeah. I think the Giants are sitting there. They have needs pretty much all over the board. But I think this is the year that they find out if Danny Dimes is the truth or not. And to do that, you need to surround him with weapons. So the Giants are sitting here at 11, and they're going to take Jalen Waddle.
Jalen Waddle is off the board.
Yeah.
And now I think the Eagles, they took Deshaun Jackson in, 2010, maybe 2008, somewhere around then. He was undersized, but he was a baller. And I don't think they let Devonta Smith slip any further down with their wide receiver needs. So they're going to go ahead and take him here at 12.
I could see it.
And the Chargers with pick 13, you got to think they have old Matt Stafford back there. Although he's a durable, he can no.
Nope.
Oh, I'm thinking Rams. Hat. Okay, they have a young, short-haired now fuckface, and they need some protection. So I'm going to pick up from Virginia Tech tackle Christian Darrisaw.
Nice. All right. With the Vikings at pick 14, I think they had some old dudes on the D line. Had some guys retire, had some guys go crazy. So I think they are going to take who they think is the most surefire pick on the line in this draft, and they're going to take Kwity Paye out of Michigan.
Kwity Paye off the board. Now the Panthers are up. They got Sam Darnold. They got wide receivers in need, but I don't think that's really true.
I see a crazy steal here for the Panthers.
Now they got tight end as a need. I think it's too high up, and I think they'd be looking at a cornerback right here, and I think they'd be looking at J.C. Horn.
You don't think they'd take Parsons to replace Kuechly?
I don't think they want anyone putting penises in any buttholes and they're going to go with J.C. Horn.
No, it wasn't in the hole, it's the cheeks. It was simulated, Austin.
So Horn to the Panthers.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, so the Cardinals have spent some time on their offense, but they need a defense. So I would go Bama Haas, Christian Barrymore for the
Yeah.
Cardinals.
I'm loving your picks.
Told you
Christian
I'm a genius.
Love it.
and
All
the
right.
Raiders.
Yeah. So John Gruden is on the clock, and John Gruden is like, he can't contain himself right now because he doesn't care about off the field issues. John Gruden sees freak athlete Micah Parsons there, and I don't know who the Raiders have as linebackers, but I don't care because John Gruden is jumping on that. Micah Parsons to the Raiders.
So now the Dolphins are back on the clock. They got their tackle for the next 10 years. They're looking at either defensive line or potentially another wide receiver. Now, let's take a look. We got Jason Owa. We got Jalen Phillips. And then we got Rashad Bateman. Azeez Ojulari. I think the Dolphins in this case would go with the freak out of Penn State, Jason Owa, and add an edge rusher.
I could see that.
They lost Kyle Van Noy, and they need someone else screaming off that edge.
I probably would have went with Jalen Phillips there, bring the Miami boy home, but I know you want him in Buffalo.
Yeah.
Now, the Washington football team, they just pick up Ryan Fitzpatrick. So maybe they want to look for a receiver for him. So I'm going to go with Elijah Moore from Mississippi, wide receiver.
Now that's crazy because they do have Scary Terry and they do have Curtis Samuel. But now they have Scary Terry, Curtis Samuel, and Elijah Moore.
They sure do. All right. Bears they're kind of getting screwed here because Bears need a quarterback. Who's their starter? Nick Foles?
No, they got didn't they pick up someone new? Oh man.
Did they?
Chicago Bears QB.
I think it's Nick Foles.
Andy Dalton, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, they don't need a quarterback. Bears are fine. All right. So Bears are sitting there. They need a guy opposite Allen Robinson. So they're going to take Terrace Marshall Jr. out of LSU.
Marshall Juniors.
Yeah.
Where is he on here?
He's a little down, but I think he's a bigger body than Rashad Bateman and Rondale Moore. So they're going to go with that. They need an outside guy.
They want a jump ball guy for Andy Dalton.
Yeah.
All right, so the Colts are on the clock. They don't got a whole lot of needs besides left tackle and I guess wide receiver, but I don't think that's really a pressing need. But I don't think they pass up Elijah Vera Tucker if he slips this far down. So they're going to go ahead and take him and keep bolstering that Haas offensive line next to Quentin Nelson.
So along the same lines, similar lines, I feel like the Texans just need to play better. Like when Titans need to play better because when they are playing good, they're playing good. So my philosophy, when in doubt, beef up your line. So I'm going to go with tackle Walker Little from Stanford.
Walker Little off the board. The New York Jets are on the clock.
Jets are sitting here. This is a tough one. This is a team that has needs all across the board. I think they're sitting there. They're looking at some corners on the board. I don't think they thought Caleb Fairley was going to fall this far, but I think they need help everywhere, and I think they're going to take a swing on Jalen Phillips.
Jalen Phillips off the board.
Yeah.
Now the Steelers are on the clock, and I think they would love to nab an offensive lineman here, but I think they're also looking at running back.
Yeah.
Now, do they like, say, a Tevin Jenkins? Yes, they do. And I think they take the chance on the Haas. I think you build the Haas's first and you
Really?
get the running backs later.
I think they're going to take Najee, but
I could see them taking Najee as well.
so
But
you're
I
saying
think
Tevin
the
Jenkins?
Haas's make the running back doesn't make the Haas.
Sure. So Tevin Jenkins?
Tevin Jenkins off the clock.
All right. Jake, there's a clear option for the Jags here.
Yeah, so I think the Jags, and this is my personal opinion, might need some defensive peoples. Oh, you left me. So I'm gonna go with Aziz Ojulari.
Not who I would have gone with.
Ojulari.
But,
Hunter would have taken
edge rusher.
Trevor Moehrig, but that's not
heck yeah.
Hunter's draft.
Exactly.
But defense nonetheless.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Aziz is going to be great, and I would love to see him. But if Trevon is there, I think they'd be silly not to take him.
All right. So, am I on the clock?
I am.
Browns? Oh, you're on the clock?
So with the Browns, I think this is an easy one. I think they're going to get the Isaiah Simmons of this draft here. At 26, they're going to take Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Can play that dude anywhere on the defense. He's just going to be running around super fast.
Yeah.
Tackle machine.
So it comes down to the Ravens, and they just lost their tackle, Orlando Brown Jr., and the Ravens are a Haas first team. Now, they do see Rashad in there.
Sorry.
But they also have Dylan Raduns. And I think they take the Haas first, because that's how the Ravens build their football teams. But wait just a second. There's also Gregory Rousseau.
Keep in mind, they are going to have another pick coming up.
That is true. I think they would take Rousseau first and then try to hit it from the back later on.
So Rousseau at 27?
Yep.
All right, Jake, who are the Saints taking?
So 28 Saints. I think maybe they'll pick up defensive possibly. So let's go with, maybe this is where we take Trevor Moehrig, safety. Defense secondary guy. Oh, sorry. Trevon.
To the Saints.
Not a whole lot of sense there, but we can do it.
Hey, this is late in the draft.
The Packers are on the board.
Yeah, Packers are here. Everybody's going to be screaming for one of the wide receivers, but we all know they don't want to help Aaron Rodgers. So they're going to take Caleb Fairley, cornerback, Virginia Tech.
And the Buffalo Bills are on the clock. And I think if it comes down to there being none of the edge rushers available, that the Bills will go ahead and take Asante Samuel Jr.
Yeah, good.
Get a ball hog opposite of Trey White. And the Ravens are on the clock.
So the Ravens probably want to beef up the line a little. So we're going to go with the Dylan Raduns.
And he's off the board now. North Dakota State.
North Dakota State.
Wanted him at 27, got him at 31. Smart pick. All right, last pick, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's a tough one. It's a team that really doesn't have any needs. So I am going to go ahead and give them. Oh, this is a toughie. They are gonna take linebacker Nick Bolton out of Missouri. Actually, no, they're not. They're gonna take Zaven Collins out of Tulsa. They're gonna let him sit and develop a little bit. But that completes the first round.
Print it out. Woo. Put it in
Yeah.
the fridge.
Definitely someone save this. Give me 1 second to take something outside, and I will be back for the game. Jake, I'm very impressed. I think you did a very good job.
Yeah, I'm just I'm learning, Could I draft the perfect NFL team? Probably. But who's to know?
I don't know. But
See, I don't see the Bengals taking Rashawn Slater. That's the main thing I think that threw off the draft for me.
I think everybody is like, oh, Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. They think that's going to be something, but like they already have what? Tyler Boyd. They have what's the Clemson guy? T. Higgins. He was good at the end of last year. He's coming on. I just think like the fact that your team was good, and then because your O-line was so poopy,
but their tackles they drafted that guy from Bama who is
Jonah Williams is good, but he was injured. Now, if they draft a tackle at 5, they'll have 2 bookends.
Yeah, but they'll have to move him to right tackle.
But I don't know. I have a real feeling at 5 they're going to take a tackle because you have to. You can't have an Andrew Luck situation.
I just think if they took a tackle, it'd be Sewell.
I don't know, dude. Sewell's a guy who was like, he's kind of a faller, and Slater's a riser. Like, there's a lot of hype around Sewell at the beginning of the process, but he's kind of fallen down boards, especially because he didn't play last year and because he's so young.
I don't think there's anything wrong with being young.
I don't either, but I'm telling you what the news is. But either way, before we get into the game, I think we have to discuss last week's game a little bit. I don't know if we ever got the graphics for that, but it's kind of maybe good that we didn't. I haven't done any research whatsoever into this claim, but our Eagles correspondent, Anthony Tworski, who you guys have seen on the show before, recently let me know that my number one super fan of all time, EDP445, is allegedly a pedophile.
What?
So, yeah, he said it in the group me. And
really?
I don't think he would just say that out of nowhere because he's like he was a big EDP guy. So yeah, probably.
What happened? Can you give us a brief synopsis?
Like I said, I don't know. I have not looked it up. I'll do a quick Google real quick.
That's crazy. Yeah, don't be accusing guys without evidence, Hunter.
Well, at least we have it on record that Hunter
EDP445 YouTuber deletes all of his videos after sting operation.
What?
Yeah, that's just the first video that popped up. Popular YouTuber caught by predator poachers allegedly trying to meet with a 13-year-old.
Wow.
Yeah. So probably.
Well, we should probably cover that now we do not want him on the cast. Yeah. We said we would try to get him.
Well, we could probably get him now, dude.
Well, yeah.
I think you can have phones in prison.
To be honest, I wouldn't be opposed to having him on because obviously that's not cool, and we could kind of grill him a little bit. No, I don't know that there's any saving pedophiles.
Well, I mean, if you find Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, I think that makes that stuff okay. Hunter's ready to go. He found him. Yeah. Oh, Jesus, he's right here.
But yeah, so just little redo on that last game, maybe.
Yeah, that's okay.
We didn't know.
You live and you learn.
Before then, he was just a funny YouTube guy. Now the
results were inconclusive.
Yeah,
but now they're conclusive.
You want to get into today's game, Jake?
Yeah, so let's go to the fun game. The fun game of the week today is best NFL draft steals. So people who were drafted low ended up being pretty good. pretty self-explanatory. We will go Hunter, me, Austin.
All right. So my list is pretty standard. There's really nothing crazy in there. I think these are all people who deserve it. My number 3 is going to be Russell Wilson. He was taken the pick after, or maybe not the pick after, but Brian Angerer, the punter, was drafted before him, which is kind of ridiculous because I think the Jags were rocking Blaine Gabbert at the time. They could have had Russell Wilson, but it is what it is. So Russell Wilson, all pro, probably never going to be an MVP. He is a Super Bowl champion. But he was taken 75 overall, which is nuts because you see a guy like Jared Goff taken 1, Carson Wentz 2, like all these dudes taken super high. Brandon Weeden was taken like 8th overall or something. Russell Wilson taken at 75, and for as long as he's been in the league, he's been one of the best quarterbacks.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So my number 3 is a wide receiver who on pretty much the teams he's been on, super aggressive, super good player. That is Stephon Diggs. He was drafted 146th overall, and I think that's a pretty good grab from the Minnesota Vikings and now the Buffalo Bills.
For sure.
So yeah, I've just done guys in like recent memory. Like I didn't go back real far, but coming in at number 3 on my list, I got George Kittle. And George Kittle was drafted in the 5th round, number 146 overall.
And then Stephon Diggs.
I mean, we all know George is the top tight end, if not number 2. But
and he's good at grilling.
Savage blocker, monstrosity on the football field.
Yeah, absolutely. My number 2 is a guy we all know and love, the president of the Legion of Boom, Richard Sherman, coming out of Stanford, I believe. Richard Sherman was taken 154 overall, which is nuts for a dude who for like 5 years was like undebatably the best cornerback in the NFL. But I feel like that happens with corners sometimes. Can take a dude late and he can just kind of find his groove and pop off. But yeah, Richard Sherman, number 2.
Makes sense.
Now,
it's my number 2.
Oh, is it you up, Chick?
Yeah.
Okay.
So my number 2, this wide receiver again, most aggressive. Some compare him to the next Megatron. Taken at 264th, DK Metcalf.
DK Metcalf. There's no way he was 264th.
That's what I looked up.
He had to have been 64th.
Yeah, Jake, that's super wrong.
Well, let's see what headline Phillips is up to.
Well, I'm going to go
64th, round 2.
Yeah.
But either way, 64th, still a good steal.
Yeah, he's a good steal.
So you're keeping him at your 2?
Keeping him, yeah. He's
such
agree
that he's a steal
but a threat and a powerhouse and a game changer.
Much less of a steal 200 picks prior.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
A simple comma is all.
So coming in at number 2 on my list.
So you saw round 2 pick 64.
No, I was reading quickly.
Jake was on his medication, dude.
Yeah.
But number 2 on my list, Hunter mentioned a Legion of Boom member. I'm going with another one, Cam Chancellor.
Oh.
And he was picked in round 5, I believe. And yep, it was round 5 and pick 133. So that was just an absolute steal of a draft back in the day for Pete Carroll.
Nice. Austin, are you typing yours in?
Oh, no, I'll put him on there.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, but Cam Chancellor, a.k.a. Boom Boom, a.k.a. Bam Bam.
Well, I'm glad I went first because I feel like you guys have to have this guy. I think this dude might be, obviously because he's number 1 on my list, I think he is the greatest draft steal of all time. And that is somebody who has taken pick 195, which looking at his career is pretty crazy. Antonio Brown.
Town.
Yeah. Because again, like Richard Sherman, a guy who was pretty undisputed, like the number 1 corner in the league for a very long time. Antonio Brown was like, besides Julio, just the best. Like he's clicking with Big Ben. He can do stuff that no other wide receiver can do. Like I remember in the Jags Steelers playoff game, like Jalen Ramsey, AJ Bouye, they're like locking him down, but then Big Ben just throws it and he does some weird AB stuff and just finds a way. So if he wasn't crazy, he'd probably go down as like one of the best, if not the best in the game.
That's a good one.
Now, for my number one pick, I think is the other clear answer, the classic story, Tom Brady being picked 199th overall. He's fucking Tom Brady.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
You want to talk about dudes that don't look like they have the physique to be a good quarterback. He looks like a potato.
Yeah. Real Mac Jones-esque.
Exactly. So, if Mac Jones can do the same thing, just another Tom Brady, and Paige can scoop him up, absolutely, by all means. But, cerebral dude, just like Tom Brady. Maybe it'll happen. But, I think Tom Brady is the undisputed biggest steal.
So, with my number one, I was going to go Stephon Diggs. My backup would have been Tom Brady, but that's low-hanging fruit. So, I'm going to go with and throw in Tyreek Hill, who was taken in the 5th round at number 165.
Yeah, he almost made my list.
And he's one of the most electric playmakers of all time, the cheetah.
Absolutely.
It's like a cat on the field. Everyone's trying to chase him, but he's just a different speed. Too agile.
I mean, if you could draft the cats, because any cat that goes in the field, they're to the crowd, to the stand, they're crazy. They're crazy.
And it's usually a security guard who gets the cat.
And Tyreek Hill isn't just good. He's like so good that now that type is like chased in the draft, like a Jalen Waddle type, like a dude who's short and fast. You're like, oh, he's going to be like Tyreek Hill. But Tyreek Hill is just like, his ball skills are crazy. He's super explosive. He's just different. He's a unicorn. You can't really chase that.
It's weird looking at him because most guys who are that fast, they're not built like he's built. Like they're built like they're fragile, like they're not very strong.
Like a John Ross.
But there's something about him where he is jacked and he's extremely strong. Like he plays much bigger than he is. Like he can jump ball people and out muscle them. Yeah. Like he's very strong, very fast.
Yeah.
All steals.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Very good steals.
That was a good game. Whoever suggested that one, especially on the mock draft spectacular.
Yeah.
Mocky D, Specky D.
But yeah, I mean, so that was the mock draft spectacular. We'll probably catch you next week. I don't know, because Saturday, the draft is over. It'll still be happening.
Yeah. I mean, so you're going to be in Cleveland?
I'm only going to be there Thursday and Friday.
Now, you're going to the draft?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
It's in Cleveland. Like, I feel like it'd be stupid not to, being this close.
Are you going as a news or just as you bought a ticket?
No, so it was stupid because I told my boss for like 3 months, I was like, yo, the draft is in Cleveland. Do you guys have any plans of going? And he's like, yeah, I don't know. It's a good idea, but I'll let you know. Like every month I'd be like, yo, if you are sending a team, send me, because if you don't, I will be taking off and I will be going either way. So like after 3 months, I finally took off. So I'd have it. Literally the next day I came in, I'm like, hey, boss man, I took those days off. He's like, oh, what do you mean? We're sending a crew down there. And I'm like, oh my God, are you fucking kidding me? So I don't know, but I'm going to be there. Huh?
Should have beat his ass.
Yeah.
Showed him who the real boss was.
But they are going to have a crew down there. They might interview me because they're going to be, I don't know if they get to go inside and see the stage. Huffy and I are going to be there.
Oh, nice.
But you can't go into the stage. That's like teams select like draft ambassadors for that.
Yeah.
So they made like a little draft village kind of with a bunch of like activities and whatnot. Where there's
are you going to get some reporting for the cast?
I guess
some
so.
Phone bids.
Yeah, I'm definitely
BFF short
together. Yeah, something like that. But yeah, so that should be fun. But either way, if we do Saturday morning, half of the draft will be done. So, but that's really the important picks.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
But yeah. All right. Find us on YouTube where you found us. Find us on Instagram at Bro Football Focus, and find us on Twitter at Bro Football Focus with one L.
Yeah, 1L.
Yep. Yep.
One L at the end of football. But other than that, we'll catch you next week for some post draft stuff. So see ya. And sorry about the EDP stuff.